Ever heard of a guy who pulled off the greatest military prank in history on Rome? Yep, that's our man Hannibal at Cannae. Hannibal, a Carthaginian general with a bone to pick and a point to prove, had one mission in mind: to bring the mighty Rome to its knees. He set his sights on the Battle of Cannae, a perfect stage for his grand performance. But this was no ordinary plan, oh no. Hannibal was a master of deception, a true artist in the theater of war. He devised a strategy as cunning as a fox, as daring as a lion. The double envelopment, a move so audacious it was like inviting the Roman forces into a cozy little trap, enticing them with the illusion of a weakened center. Little did they know, they were walking right into a Carthaginian sandwich, with Hannibal himself as the chef. And so, with a twinkle in his eye, Hannibal set his plan into motion. Imagine being a Roman soldier thinking you're about to crush Hannibal, only to realize you've walked into a trap. Ouch. So there you are, a Roman soldier feeling pretty good about yourself. You've got your shiny armor on, your sword is polished to a mirror shine, and you're in the heart of the action. You're part of the Roman army, the most formidable military force of its time, and you're about to face off against Hannibal, the Carthaginian general who's been causing Rome quite a bit of grief. You've heard the rumors about Hannibal, of course. You know he's cunning, that he's not to be underestimated, but look at him now, his force is looking a little shabby, a little worn around the edges. It's clear that the Roman might is about to crush this Carthaginian nuisance once and for all. You march forward, feeling the ground beneath your feet, hearing the rhythmic clanging of your comrade's armor. You're in the center of the formation, the safest place to be. And as you advance, you notice something odd. The Carthaginian forces in front of you, they're retreating? It seems like Hannibal's center is collapsing, buckling under the weight of the Roman power. A smirk spreads across your face. This is going to be easier than you thought. But then, something strange starts to happen. The Carthaginian forces on the flanks, they're not retreating. They're holding their ground. And wait, are they advancing? Suddenly, you're not so sure about that smirk. You glance around and the realization dawns on you. You're not marching into victory, you're marching into a trap. And as you look around, the last bits of your confidence start to fade. You've been outsmarted, outmaneuvered. You've been suckered into a trap, and there's no way out. And as the Romans marched proudly into the trap, Hannibal probably couldn't help but chuckle. You know how you feel when you're stuck in a crowded subway train during rush hour? Yeah, that was the Roman army at Cannae. If you've ever wondered what it would be like to be part of a real-life military strategy game, welcome to Hannibal's world. Picture this. The year is 216 BC. The Roman forces are confident, ready for a fight. They march into the battlefield expecting a head-on clash. But Hannibal, the Carthaginian general, had a completely different recipe in mind, the Hannibal Sandwich. It's not as tasty as it sounds, trust me. Hannibal's forces were arrayed in a crescent formation. The center was deliberately weakened, giving the Romans a seemingly irresistible target. Like overconfident partygoers eyeing the last slice of pizza, the Romans charged right in. And that's when Hannibal's plan started to take shape. As the Romans pushed forward, Hannibal's center began to give way, retreating in a controlled manner. The Romans, sensing victory, pushed harder. But this was no ordinary retreat. It was the first slice of bread in the Hannibal sandwich. While the Romans were busy pushing the Carthaginian center, Hannibal's flanks began to move inwards, like a pair of jaws closing on an unsuspecting prey. This was the second slice of bread. The Romans, now fully committed and oblivious to the impending danger, found themselves completely encircled. They were the filling in the Hannibal sandwich, and let me tell you, it wasn't a gourmet filling. Confusion reigned as the Romans found themselves hemmed in on all sides. There was nowhere to go. Panic set in, discipline broke down, and the Roman army, once a formidable fighting machine, was reduced to a chaotic, disorganized mob. Not exactly the kind of sandwich you'd want to order at your local deli, right? And just like that, the Romans found themselves in the world's worst sandwich. No mustard, no mayo, just pure chaos. Hannibal had served up a masterclass in military strategy, and the Romans? They were left with a bitter taste in their mouths. Now that's what I call a Hannibal sandwich. So, what happens when you outsmart Rome, the superpower of the ancient world? Well, you get a victory for the history books. Imagine being a Roman citizen, waking up one sunny morning and hearing that the invincible Roman army has been crushed. By whom, you ask? None other than Hannibal, the audacious Carthaginian general who dared to cross the Alps with elephants. Yes, you heard that right, elephants. The Battle of Cannae was more than just a military conquest, it was a statement that said, "Hey Rome, guess what? You're not the only game in town." Hannibal, with his double envelopment strategy, had not only outwitted the Romans but also left them in utter disbelief. Like a master chess player, he had seen the game several moves ahead. He drew the Romans in, circled them, and then, in a move of sheer brilliance, squashed them like a grape. The aftermath of this battle was nothing short of catastrophic for Rome. The Roman army, once the pride of the ancient world, was left licking its wounds. The mighty empire had been brought to its knees, all thanks to a man with a plan and a few elephants. And Hannibal? He became the stuff of legends. He was the David who had taken down Goliath, the underdog who had outsmarted the champion. His name echoed through the corridors of power, striking fear in the hearts of Roman generals and earning him a place in the pantheon of history's greatest military tacticians. But let's not forget the Romans. As much as they were shocked and humiliated, they were also resilient. They picked themselves up, dusted off the dirt, and learned from their mistakes. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but it made them stronger in the long run. After all, Rome wasn't built in a day, and it certainly wasn't going to crumble after one defeat. And thus Hannibal proved that, with a little cunning and a lot of guts, you can turn the tide of history, or at least give Rome a really bad day.